Hello, hello. Welcome back to SCPs with
I don't know why we're watching this.
what?
Why are we watching this? Resident Evil is about to drop.
Because I need to upload a video today.
Ugh. Fine. But I'm not
Nay,
happy about it.
you will be. So today we are doing SCP-6373.
I think I'm dyslexic.
I think so too.
Good afternoon,
But tell me
everyone.
why you think so.
My name is
That clearly said Strange Blight, but I read Limp Bizkit.
That's... what? Are you okay?
I don't think so.
I don't... Oh god.
Dr. Miller, and the
Feel free to
SCP
send
we're
plague
going to
doctors.
be looking at today is
No, I'm good actually.
SCP-6373. Containment class neutralized.
I feel like
Previously
they killed
header.
this thing.
Assigned site Area 179.
It's the first
Site
neutralized
director,
one that
J.
we've
Barrow.
seen.
Research head J. Dune. Assigned task force non-applicable.
On this series, yes.
Special containment procedures. The building containing SCP-6373 has been outfitted with a closed-circuit surveillance system and shuttered from public access. Assigned personnel are to view and transcribe SCP-6373's daily performances. Counseling is available as a part of post-viewing debriefing. Personnel are expected to be repulsed. Description.
They're expected to be repulsed. Kind of like a similar situation with Tally.
Rosie.
Not my dog. You're not expected to be repulsed by seeing my dog.
I am.
Well, you're weird.
SCP-6373 is a collection of 4 papier-mâché puppets, each 1 meter in height. Chemical analysis indicates each puppet's exterior is constructed from non-anomalous material. All attempts to observe the interior of SCP-6373 through either physical or endoscopic means have failed. All instances are attached to an individual set of strings bound together by a plastic cross-shaped mechanism intended for control by a puppeteer. SCP-6373 emit a strong rotting odor causing visceral nausea. This response is entirely non-anomalous.
Are we sure this isn't Rosie?
It's not. My dog does not smell like a rotting corpse. Okay? My dog is not just. My dog is not 4 papier-mâché puppets.
We don't know.
I do know. She's not 4 papier-mâché puppets.
We don't know.
I can confirm she is not 4 papier-mâché puppets.
At 1800 hours daily, SCP-6373 will gain anomalous properties, primarily limited sentience, mobility, and intelligence. Attempts to interact with objects outside of SCP-6373 events, see below, have failed. This event will not occur if SCP-6373 are contained in a location other than the Goffard Theater, located in Reading, Pennsylvania. Instead, they will remain inert objects.
So, is it the puppets or the theater that's anomalous
then? Deterioration process involving slowly melting their papier-mâché bodies and emitting a stronger, more intensive odor as a result. This process continues until SCP-6373 are placed within a 12-meter vicinity of the Goffard Theater. When conditions for animation are sufficient, SCP-6373 proceed to the main stage of the theater to perform an act classified as an SCP-6373 event.
Ooh,
the details of this performance
show us the act.
are fluid and ever-changing, and presently, no repeat performance.
What did you just call me?
I didn't call you anything.
Have been observed. An audience of at least 1 individual must be present at the theater to observe the performance. Otherwise, SCP-6373 will undergo decomposition. SCP-6373 Event Summary and Cast.
Oh?
Overview. An SCP-6373 event is a largely unorganized and spontaneous performance acted out by SCP-6373, featuring unorthodox attempts at humor, storytelling, and entertainment. Audience attempts to interact with SCP-6373 during a performance have resulted in injury. Performance.
You still think that could be my dog?
I think it's possible.
I don't think she can put on a performance that well. I'm sorry.
I don't know. I've seen her stand on 2 feet.
She can do that, yes.
See, evidence is mounting.
Do not have a set length,
I don't know.
ranging from 2 minutes to 3 weeks in length.
Description. The fuck? Wait, so if one person has to be there, at least one person has to be there for the act to happen, do they have to stay for the whole thing? Does one person have to be there for 3 weeks? Like, they have to have someone in there for 3 whole weeks? Or is it just like they have to be there for it to start, to initiate?
Of each puppet's physical appearance and typical role in an SCP-6373 event can be found below. SCP-6373-1 is an elderly male with a pointed nose and large eyes, clad in a beret, black sweater, and striped shirt. SCP-6373-1 is referred to as Pierre and serves as the performance's host and central character. SCP-6373-2 is a large, bald, disembodied head with sizable ears and an open-mouthed expression. SCP-6373-2 is referred to as Glutton and is incapable of speaking outside of deep, guttural moaning and single-word statements.
So true. Callie, would you be a Glutton if you could?
I'm just cool being not, dear, honestly.
Okay.
I'm very comfortable with my sense of self.
You don't want to be a giant bald head that just makes deep guttural moaning.
No, I'm just really comfortable in my and other deer skins.
Okay.
SCP-6373-3 is a diminutive disembodied head with closed, sunken eyes and a solemn expression. It is noticeably smaller than the others, and its skin is painted a discolored gray. While the puppet features no limbs, much like Glutton, audiences have observed its strings being pulled during performances as if articulated joints were present. SCP-6373 is referred to as Ame. Though Ame does not typically speak or make noise, it will on occasion silently cry. Ame is the most frequent target of Pierre's verbal and physical abuse.
Oh god.
SCP-6373-4 is a long-necked clown, wearing an outfit typical of such with white gloves. SCP-6373-4 is the only puppet with a hinged jaw, intended to be operated through the use of a string connected at the bottom of the mouth. This mechanism has since broken, rendering SCP-6373's jaw loose and uncontrollable. SCP-6373-4 is referred to as Jacques and serves as the group's comic relief. Jacques often reiterates the phrase, "Isn't that funny?" to punctuate its antics.
I don't think that's very funny. Just, if you have to say that it's funny each time, I don't think that's funny. That's not how comedy
works. Loses its
works.
humor when you have to explain it. That's comedy 101.
Yeah, this guy fucking sucks at comedy. Callie, not dear.
Actually, no, there's one exception to that.
Oh?
When you say, it's funny because it's true. Now that's funny.
Yeah.
Addendum 6373-1 History and Performance Summaries.
Ooh.
The Gofford Theater was opened in Reading, Pennsylvania in 1860 by French immigrant and entrepreneur Timothy Goffard. The theater was host to stage plays, musical performances, and in-house puppet shows that featured SCP-6373. The puppets were personally designed by Goffard, who maintained an intensive interest in puppeteering.
Wait, did Goffard name the large, bald head puppet after himself?
Or is that part of the SCP's effect?
Is he the large, bald head?
And
Is
often
he bald?
participated in the show's
Is he
production.
bald?
These shows were massively profitable and popular among Redding's children. It is unknown if SCP-6373 held any anomalous significance during the theater's operation, but written evidence detailing payrolls of puppeteers and printed copies of scripts intended to be performed by SCP-6373 suggests they were ordinary puppets. In 1884, the theater closed due to embezzlement committed by Goffard's wife, Cynthia Cordier. Cordier's actions were presumably in retaliation to Goffard's unfaithfulness in their marriage. This resulted in a divorce and subsequent legal battle, which Goffard lost. In 1886, Goffard wrote a letter to his wife, a portion of which has been transcribed below. I write to you in poor health, and all joy sapped from my life. May misfortune follow you until the end of your days. I will not construct again that which I had spent 2 decades of my life working towards. I can only thank God's grace that the building has remained vacant, as I could not bear to see it owned by another man. I want to perform again and see the children smile. My happiness was so linked to theirs. 1 week later, Goffard disappeared. No evidence of his...
Maybe it's like, maybe he like made a deal with the devil to bring these puppets back to life.
Why you gotta make such uninteresting deals with the devil? Come on, guys. Come on.
I think it's interesting. Come on, he's making 4 puppets come back to life every now and then. At one specific theater.
Whereabouts were found. The letter remains his last known communication with another individual. Records indicate Cynthia Cordier would die of natural causes 4 months later. In 1887, the American Secure Containment Initiative discovered SCP-6373 during an inspection of the building. Anomalous effects were documented thereafter, and containment continued after the American Secure Containment Initiative had been assimilated into the SCP Foundation. A log of notable SCP-6373 performances have been recorded.
This is what I'm really interested in. I want to know what these performances
Performance
are.
Summary 1887, 1022. First recorded performance. Lighting fixtures around the theater collectively power on several minutes before the show, and a slight piano accompaniment originating from an unknown source is heard throughout the event.
A little pre-show entertainment?
Okay.
A costumed Jacques from a dragon played by Glauton. Researchers note several moments when an SCP-6373 instance has difficulty maintaining posture and moving, often taking multiple attempts to lift limbs. These moments increase in frequency over time. Performance Summary 1895.
Is that why sometimes they last for 3 weeks long? Because the longer the play goes on, the more difficult it is for them to move. So by the end, they're just like, it takes them a whole day just like lift up an arm.
The last act, it's like, I don't know, something like they're just walking off stage 2.5 weeks.
Oh, yeah.
0417. Pierre and the other puppets take the roles of criminals recovering after a botched bank robbery attempt. As they attempt to figure out who alerted the police to their activities, they come to the conclusion that it was Aimee. The puppets spend the rest of the performance using the spherical Aimee as a ball in a game of soccer.
Oh my
eventually
god.
devolves into a contest to see which puppet can kick Aimee the hardest. Pierre berates Aimee for betraying its trust and breaking the bond they had shared after years of working together. Examination of liquid secreted by Aimee puppet indicates chemical similarity to human tears. Performance.
The puppets can like actually cry? Oh my god.
Not their own tears. Other people's tears.
Where are they getting the tears from?
The audience.
Ah, it's that one guy. That one guy in the audience.
Summary 1916-02-29. The puppets reenact a scene on a farm, while the German-Russian conflict known as the Battle of Tannenberg is waged nearby. Glauton and Jock take the role of a German and Russian soldier respectively, and act out a slapstick battle in a field.
Okay. I thought I misinterpreted the situation. I thought they were literally just doing the play next to the Battle of Tannenberg that was happening in real life.
That would have been funny. Yeah, there's like a fucking war going on over here. And then across the street, there's just like some puppets reenacting it as it's happening.
Human suffering
Fucked up would that be? I feel like you were in the
A
middle of a
subsequent
war
scene inside
and
the
your
farmhouse.
best friend dies and then some puppet just like dramatically reenacts it.
I think I would shoot the puppet.
And that's how you stop an SCP.
Gun.
Features Pierre and Aimee as a husband and wife. Pierre laments that its crops have been destroyed due to the war and calls to Aimee for support. The puppets remain silent, even as Pierre's cries grow louder and more frantic as it shifts the blame of the crop's destruction from the war to Aimee itself. Pierre states that Aimee will never be
Toxic
let out
masculinity.
again, presumably
Yeah.
referring to the house. Performance Summary 1922-08-21. SCP-6373 perform a similar narrative as the first recorded SCP-6373 event. Audiences note each puppet sounds discontented in its delivery of dialogue. Movements do not sync up with dialogue, and instances move in frantic bursts, hanging limp when not speaking. The ending, where Pierre escapes with Jock while Glauton flees, is altered. Instead, Pierre directly attacks Glauton with a plastic sword while berating the puppet for being useless. Glauton acts as if it were dead, and Pierre comments on its acting, stating, "That isn't what being dead feels like." Future SCP-6373 events are noticeably more dissonant and aggressive in tone.
Oh god.
Performance Summary 1938-1104. First direct audience acknowledgement by SCP-6373. Puppets engage in a comedic sketch involving dancing. Instances move in slow jerking motions while dialogue is quickly paced. Pierre becomes frustrated that the other puppets are unable to synchronize themselves and suspects they are being intentionally uncooperative. Pierre brandishes a prop hose and sprays water at the puppets. This removes paint from their bodies.
Yeah, because they're made of paper mache. They're made of paper mache. So like spraying water at them would be like acid. You're gonna melt their skin.
Also, I mean, if it's a prop hose, should it actually be able to spray water though?
Yeah, but these puppets are also like alive. So like,
But the thing is like it's they're in a theater. It's a prop hose. If it actually sprays water, it's not a prop hose. It's just a hose.
okay, you've got a point, but like, magic.
Oh shit, you're right.
High-pitched feminine screams are heard throughout the theater with no discernible point of origin. Pierre turns to the audience and states, "It's always the same kids out there." Performance ends with Pierre hurling Aimee into the crowd after it attempted to roll off stage. From this point on, Pierre speaks to the audience while performing, usually to seek approval before berating another puppet. All paint was restored by the next event. Future performances frequently feature Pierre accusing other puppets of malfeasance and taking physical action as a result.
I want to accuse your dog of malfeasance.
You can't accuse my dog of malfeasance.
What? Did you say feet?
I didn't say. I did not say feet. No.
It literally sounded like you said, "Do not
Summary
accuse my dog of
1952.
malfeet."
Do not accuse my dog of having feet, Tally.
Probably doesn't have feet. It's a paper mache puppet.
11.
She's not a
Pierre
paper mache
performs a
puppet.
piano duet with Jacques, who
Oh, you're
is
right.
unable
4
to
of
be
'em.
quiet or still. Though Jacques apologizes, Pierre repeatedly slams the puppet's head into the piano, denting it. When
Oh,
Pierre is
God.
finished,
Like, denting the piano or the puppet?
First one, then the other.
God
viewers
damn.
note Jacques' jaw has detached completely. Jacques' laughter turns into pained cries as the puppet takes damage. Within minutes, viscous yellow fluid begins to seep from Jacques as it fails to reattach its jaw. Audience describe the liquid's odor as repugnant. Pierre retrieves Aimee and forces the puppet to sit in a puddle of the fluid. This event marks the beginning of a trend towards increasingly violent behavior. While puppets sustain heavy damage as a result, they begin each performance fully restored. Notably, Jacques' jaw is never fixed, and the fluids continue to seep from the puppet. Performance
I love
summary
seeping fluids.
1958.
It does sound like you do that often. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you should go see
Like
a
every-
doctor.
Like every time I get into a Discord call with you and start crying.
3.
Yeah, but that's normal. That's an
Shortest
intended
performance,
response.
2 minutes in duration. Pierre is teaching an art class where each puppet is painting on a canvas. Glauton's canvas displays the words, "Open inside." When Pierre sees this, it becomes infuriated and ends the event, leading the puppets off stage. SCP-6373 instances disappear and are unable to be located. For the next 24 hours, an unidentified male voice swears and screams from behind the stage's curtain,
Fuck.
punctuated by bouts of loud banging and clattering. The source is not discerned. Lights remain powered on and centered on the stage. SCP-6373 re-emerged at 1800 hours the following day for a routine performance. Performance Summary 1963-08-21. Pierre takes the stage and berates the audience for attending. Pierre asks if the audience is aware that in death, a soul can still wither. Pierre's voice changes to that of a woman's and delivers a eulogy in memory of Timothy Gofford. Later investigation revealed that a funeral was not held for Gofford.
Oh. Why didn't he get a funeral?
They're expensive.
Yeah, but he was like a really popular puppet. He owned this theater. He was incredibly popular. He surely had money.
You'd be surprised. The
Performance
arts don't
Summary
bring in a lot.
1971-06.
It said that he was incredibly successful.
Still successful as an artist? That's got to be what? Minimum wage?
06. Performance is routine, involving a sketch where Pierre teaches Jacques how to play baseball using Aimee as the ball. Jacques is hesitant to hurt Aimee but is pressured into doing so.
Tally. Yeah, that's what got you, Tally? This is what got you?
I have a very vivid imagination.
God.
All dialogue is delivered in a monotonous male voice as opposed to their ordinary intonations. There are frequent pauses and sighs in each puppet's delivery. This voice persists throughout all remaining SCP-6373 events. Movements during this performance are notably more loose and fluid than before. When an instance appears to have difficulty moving, it will strike itself, restoring fluid motion.
Oh.
Performance Summary 1973.
Well, maybe if they weren't leaking so many fluids, their fluidity wouldn't go away.
They do leak a lot.
Puppets wear large papier-mâché facsimiles of human bodies and interact with each other in a sitcom household
Oh my God.
environment. Audience members report hearing a faint laugh track in the background, though one is not present in the recordings of the event. Over time, the suits begin to decompose. Layers of papier-mâché slough off to reveal loose viscera. Pierre frequently
my
assaults
favorite-
Aimee with various
Two of my
household
favorite
objects.
words.
Loose viscera.
No, slough and viscera.
Again, I think you need professional help.
Why?
You said your favorite words were sleuth and viscera.
I'm a horror author.
You can't read.
Oh, and exsanguinate. That's another good one.
Ah.
And at one point
And
causes the puppet to
visceral.
split in two after breaking it open with the corner of the table. Pierre encourages its two sons, Glauton and Jock, to belittle or berate Ame throughout. Performance ends with Glauton pushing a cabinet of dinner plates on top of the half-destroyed Ame.
Hey.
Examination of material left on stage following the event revealed it to be bovine in composition. Excess blood, fluid, and viscera remained on stage throughout later performances and began to rot. Removal was deemed impossible.
Okay,
Performance
but
summary
like,
19...
it really sounds like they're having a lot of like infighting between the puppets, right?
Mainly one of them fighting the rest, but yeah.
Still infighting. But either way, like, is it really infighting? Because they seem to have prop blood and viscera from cows like set up. Like, was this intentional for the act?
I don't know. Is it prop blood, or are they just actually bleeding?
They would have to have been cows at some point in time, I guess, for them to actually be bleeding cow's blood.
760702. SCP-6373 does not take the stage. Instead, the event is projected onto the stage's curtains by shadows. Their source is unknown. All puppets take part in insulting Ame, claiming that it is responsible for their current situation and it is the sole reason they are unable to move forward. Pierre pries Ame's eyes open with a pair of pliers. Jacques spews fluid onto Ame, causing the puppet to scream.
Same.
Pierre forces Glauton to consume and regurgitate Ame.
The
Ame
fuck?
is beaten with shovels, drilled holes into with a power tool, and squeezed by a vice to the point of breaking entirely. Event lasts 4 hours uninterrupted. During this process, the Pierre puppet emerges from behind the curtain and attempts an ordinary performance of Jack and the Beanstalk, while the shadows of Jack and Glauton continue to beat Ame. All researchers' attempts to open the Ame puppet's eyelids have failed. Performance summary 1979-09-18. Puppets retell and reenact the story of Timothy Goffard's life, framing him as an individual who is treated unfairly by society and his circumstances. Performance concludes with Pierre stating that Timothy Goffard died alone, miserable, and never experiencing love. There is no mention of Cynthia Cordier throughout the performance. The puppet states that the Goffard Theater remains Timothy's lasting legacy and thanks the audience for their continued support. Pierre then flagellates itself to the point of knocking its head off its shoulders and releasing a mass of blowfly larvae from its neck. A feminine scream emerges from the hole. Larvae are unable to be removed from the stage, except when it is consumed by rats inhabiting the theater.
I think there's something wrong with this theater.
Oh, this keeps getting better and better.
No.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
it is not getting better and better. I think you're getting worse and worse.
I don't know. He might be onto
Summary
something.
1979-09-18. SCP-6373 perform a retelling of Hansel and Gretel. All instances deteriorate considerably, seemingly without reason. Puppets have mobility issues throughout, sometimes repeating actions several times or falling to the ground. The performance is entirely silent until the final scene, where Pierre and Jacques toss a costumed Glauton into a mock oven. As the puppet burns, it states, "It cannot stay together anymore." All puppets collapse. Observation of the Goffard Theater later reveals that the structural integrity of the building is in jeopardy due to previously undiscovered infestation of termites and wood-decaying fungi in key construction areas.
They just have everything.
Yeah, fucking hell. So, is I'm assuming that then the puppets' lives are directly linked to the well-being of the theater.
Oh, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Because, I mean, they're getting worse and worse as time goes on, and it doesn't seem like the Foundation is directly maintaining the theater. And how they just said that one of the puppets just said they can't stay together anymore, and then all of them kind of just fell to the ground. And
Just
then
by stay together, do they mean like the four of them being together, or like literally their bodies staying
no, it was
together?
just one of the puppets that said it, so it's presumably the puppet's body is struggling to stay together.
I feel like it could be taken either way because, like, maybe them being together is, I mean, they obviously have some animosity between each other, and maybe that's affecting the theater.
Maybe? Or do they have animosity between each other because the theater is decaying? Because it is getting worse and worse, and the theater is getting worse and worse.
Maybe it's a big spiral.
Performance Summary 1983 08 02. SCP-6373 instances hold a mock funeral for a May and spend the rest of the performance exploding various afterlives that the puppet may be delivered to, complete with props and costumes. Puppets are notably culturally insensitive when discussing non-Western afterlives. Event concludes with Jacques commenting on the excess of punitive afterlives, and that it's impossible to truly know which a person should believe in to achieve salvation. Pierre then states it knows the answer. We're all dead. This is the only afterlife there is. Puppets then go limp and remain in this state for a week, missing 7 performances. All future performances lack props and costumes, marking a decline in performance effort by SCP-6373.
They've just stopped even caring now. They're not even putting any effort into it.
They're getting old.
Performance Summary 1984
Same.
03 18. Pierre tells nonsensical jokes which Jacques and Glauton laugh excessively at. Pierre then goes on a tirade about wanting to injure members of the audience while performing and then asks the crowd if they feel similar. Glauton admits that it fantasizes about wanting to break a child's arms every second it's alive. Pierre then asks
God.
the audience for a volunteer to demonstrate breaking an arm. The performance is silent for 46 minutes before researcher Lang volunteers herself. Pierre snaps Lang's
Oh, no,
arm at the
no.
elbow,
What?
fracturing.
What the fuck?
Why did you volunteer yourself?
Researchers.
What the fuck?
Guys. Gals. Come on.
Her ulna. The puppet cites her resemblance to that as greatly increasing its enjoyment of the act. The performance ends. Lang is reassigned to a different anomaly following treatment. Future performances.
Really?
What the fuck is wrong with her? Why did she volunteer herself to get her arm broken?
Towards a member of the audience.
Look
Performance Summary 1984.
we have D classes for that.
Yeah, why is there no D classes that can do this? Why is it specifically a researcher?
I don't know. Well, this is very early. This is, early 1900s. Maybe they didn't have as many like
Early
accessible D
1900s.
classes.
This was in the 80s. The one that we just saw, that was in the 80s.
What?
Yeah, look, they have the date. Like, look,
Oh, that wasn't-
1984.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so what the fuck was that researcher doing? I'm pretty sure they had D-class personnel in the 80s.
Future performance
Like-
towards 18. Last performance with discernible dialogue. Event is composed entirely of Pierre stating the full name, birth, and expiration date of every patron of the Gofford Theater from its opening to present.
Oh god.
Members of the audience are included in this routine. Throughout the act, Pierre's movements are awkward, and its speech is slow and slurred. Event concludes with Pierre looking to the ceiling stating, "You carry on so well," before violently throwing itself across the stage multiple times. Performance Summary 1985-02-12. Performances have degraded to frenzies of self-harm carried out by each puppet. Stage lighting is absent or flickers. Musical accompaniment is discordant and cacophonous. Instances self-mutilate, flagellate, and flay themselves through the use of the stage floor's friction, each other, or blunt force trauma. Screams range from high-pitched feminine voices to deep male ones. Occasional laughter is heard during male screams.
You remember when theater was good?
Long before this.
Oh, it like a few decades before any of this happened.
Centuries. I'm a Shakespearean girl.
These shows fucking suck now. It's just them, what, just like jacking off on the floor? I think that's all these puppets are doing. Something like that.
Performance Summary 1985-04-25. All puppets sit on the stage motionless, occasionally turning their heads to monologue to the audience in a nonsensical, indecipherable fashion. Several researchers claimed the puppets were directly gazing at them. All future dialogue in performances consists solely of moaning, grunting, screaming, and weeping, with extended periods of inactivity. Physical actions are often limited to standing or sitting. Performance Summary 1985-05-13.
It looks like it got really bad in the
Performance is
80s.
entirely indecipherable. Performance Summary
What things got really
1985-06.
bad in the
Fucking
80s?
god, Tally. Oh my
09.
god.
Final performance. SCP-6373 instances stand side by side for 18 minutes. No dialogue is heard. They collectively bow and fall to the ground. Stage lights and music cease. No further events occur. See addenda for details.
That's the... Okay.
Following the 1985-06-09
Sick
performance,
finale.
all SCP-6373 instances began the deterioration process observed prior, shedding their papier-mâché exteriors. When this was complete, each instance was discovered to contain preserved human remains and organs, which had been segmented cleanly at several termination points. All remains are presumably sourced from a single individual. Their contents have been listed below. Pierre contained a
So they
brain.
were paper
Jacques
mache mummies.
Yeah. You think it was of... What's his name?
Probably
The guy that owned the
because
theater?
there's no duplicate organs.
Yeah, I'm looking at
contained
it.
a heart. Glauton contained a conglomerate mass of excess organs, an unbroken layer of epidermal skin tissue, fecal matter, and hair. Amé was empty.
Oh.
And
No.
they was empty. Interesting. Wait.
Examination of unfolded skin tissue found within Glauton revealed a resemblance to person of interest 6373-2, Cynthia Cordier. Object has been reclassified as neutralized.
Oh, wait. Was it all It was all his ex-wife's organs? She did say that she disappeared she died a few months after he disappeared.
See, this is one of the things that I really like about like SCP writing. When it
It-
really gives you that, it gives you definitives, but the definitives don't answer the questions.
When it's good, it's really good. SCP as a whole is just awesome. Do you have any final words, Tally?
Chat. If you're thinking about going into the performing arts, maybe puppetry isn't for you.
Puppetry doesn't seem to be the best way. Try normal theater.
Start with Shakespeare. We'll move on from there.
Goodbye, everyone.